Hey guys, this is Coach Ross, World History. Today we're going to be talking about the Schlieffen Plan. So the Schlieffen Plan was basically Germany's war plan going into World War I. Now, if you remember, Wilhelm II, the ruler of Germany, made three really big mistakes. First, he fired Otto von Bismarck. Second, he let the treaty with Russia expire. And third, he tried to compete with England's navy. So that left Germany fighting a two-front war against France and Russia. Most Germans thought it would take Russia 6 to 8 weeks in order to mobilize their troops. That basically means getting the troops, getting them uniforms, getting them rifles, putting them in armies and companies and platoons and squads, and getting them to the front. Now, the basic idea of the Schlieffen Plan is that the border between Germany and France is heavily fortified, and the quickest way to knock out France from the war is to go through Belgium, where it's least defended. Now, that did an important thing. Belgium's neutrality was protected by Great Britain. So, in fact, by invading Belgium, it brought Great Britain into the war. Now, I drew a sledgehammer on the map for a reason. If you check out Dan Carlin's Hardcore History, his Blueprint for Armageddon series, specifically Part 2, all right, he does a great job of explaining the Schlieffen Plan using the analogy of a sledgehammer. So the sledgehammer had 700,000 to 1.2 million men in it, all right, and it's the large flanking force. So it's going around the French defenses, and as they kind of go through towards Paris, the handle, all right, which only had about 1 to 200,000 men, is kind of slowly retreating. So the basic idea is that as the French troops attack into Germany, they're getting further away from Paris, and so Germany would be able to knock out France in 3 to 4 weeks, take them out of the war, and then move all their troops to the Eastern Front to fight Russia. Now, three things went wrong for Germany in the Schlieffen Plan. And one of my favorite quotes from the war is from Winston Churchill, and it's, "The terrible ifs accumulate." And so when you're developing war plans, the more ifs you have in your plan, typically the worse off the plan is. And so the first if was if it takes Russia 6 to 8 weeks. All right, if they mobilize faster, you probably lose the war because you have to split your forces. Number two, what is Belgium going to do when Germany violates their neutrality? Most Germans thought that they would just let Germany walk right through the country into Paris. At best, they feed them. At worst, they resist. And they resisted. And number three, if England joins the war. All right, some Germans actually thought that England would remain neutral because they had a very small standing army, and that also went against Germany. So the result of the Schlieffen Plan was that it was successful initially, but they got actually about 20 miles away from Paris, and they were stopped. It was kind of a heroic effort by the French. They used 600 taxi cabs to bring men to the front. They counterattacked in the First Battle of the Marne, and the Germans were stopped. It turned into a stalemate, and trench warfare ensued, and that would continue out for the next 4 years. So, thank you guys for listening. I really do appreciate it. Check out Dan Carlin's podcast, Hardcore History. Again, the Blueprint for Armageddon. It's a great series. It's six-part series. Each podcast is about 3 to 4 hours. It's really good stuff. If you want to learn a lot more detail about World War I, listen to the podcast. It's free. Go check it out.